Hello, you're listening to Questboard, a podcast where we make up random side quests. My name is Brandon.
And I'm Tiffany. Just so you know, we are not professional writers in any way, shape, or form. At least we don't claim to be. We just really like tabletop RPGs, and we do this for fun.
You know, I've suggested this podcast to a coworker of mine, and he said that he listened to one episode.
Yeah.
And he was just giving me so much crap about how I monotone start. Hello. I don't know if I should start switching up how I introduce like the start of this or not.
You want to start out with a super fakey hello?
No, I don't think I'm capable of doing that.
Yeah.
I understand the limits of my voice.
You should stick with what feels comfortable to you, what feels natural.
No, because, okay, to be fair, I was half tempted to start this episode of saying, oh, I didn't see you there. This is Questboard.
Oh, man, that would be good. You should
What?
do that sometime.
Or the Obi-Wan Kenobi just like, why, hello there.
Hello there. Everybody loves a good Obi-Wan.
I don't think I could pull it off. No one could pull it off except for him.
True. No, yeah, he's the OG Obi. Well, okay, not the OG Obi. That's the old guy, but the old guy did pretty good too.
The younger old guy.
The old guy?
No, the newer one.
Yeah, I know.
in the
You're talking
prequels.
about the OG Obi-Wan Kenobi is the old guy.
Yeah,
I don't remember his name, and now I feel bad. I'll have to look him up later.
I can't remember the actor as well. The actor's name was Alec Guinness. Yeah, no one knows what we're talking about now. We're confusing everyone.
I've confused myself.
Anyways, we actually have character jam today.
Woo!
So, this is up for you. You're in charge.
And here's our character, randomly rolled and screenshotted from the app.
I'm gonna post this, blah blah blah. You guys know it by now, right?
Do they?
Hopefully.
Our character is a warlock. Halfling warlock, so that's fun. Really tiny and slightly angry, possibly. We don't know. Alright, so next up we have, looking at the wrong list here, origins. Our origin card came up as island. Alright, so halfling warlock from an island. Pretty cool. Background, celestial. That's interesting. I don't know where to go with that, honestly. Like, are they actually, like, they have celestial blood in them, or was there a celestial somewhere in their past? Who knows? That's their background. All right, so bonds. First bond we have on the left-hand side, enemy. And who is this enemy? A half-elf. So their enemy is a half-elf. Cool. Don't know. Do we go that far? Yeah, who? It says bandit. Okay, so there's a half-elf bandit who is their enemy. Maybe they stole something from them. Other bond we have is chief, who happens to be a human. Also an artist. Okay, so their chief is an artist and a human. Kind of cool. Mark of the past. I've lost, there it is. We have, I can't read that word, can you?
Mark.
Oh, it's debt. Yeah, they have a debt that is in their past. To who? A cleric. Okay, so maybe a cleric saved their lives or saved someone they know, maybe. And impetus, what drives them is love. And who are they in love with? A masked guardian. And I swear that mask makes me think of a luchador.
No, that doesn't really have a luchador vibe mask.
Yeah? I don't know. It gives it to me.
It gives off a V for Vendetta mask for me.
Oh, yeah, maybe a little bit of that, too.
Okay. Let's start off with the my stab at this character.
All right. What you got?
So, in D&D 5th edition, there is a there is a celestial Patreon for warlocks.
Oh.
So, the halfling, he actually died to a bandit attack.
Mhm.
Gravely injured, let's say.
Yeah.
In which he was taken to a local temple in which he was actually maybe pronounced dead, and which the cleric would actually call on to his god or a celestial being to revive, using the cleric spells.
Right.
But the deity that the cleric is a worshiper of takes that soul and basically makes a pact, like needed something for the halfling to do. And so then makes a warlock pact with the halfling to give him that the abilities of a warlock.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, once he came back, the cleric is going to then charge him because he still casted the spell.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So now he has a debt on that aspect,
Gotcha.
and that covers the enemy bound.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I'm not entirely sure about the chief artist.
Well, that's just their chief is an artist. Maybe they just have a really close relationship with the chief, or like maybe the head person from wherever they're from. It doesn't have to be a chief specifically, just whoever's in charge. But that's a human, so it couldn't be like the head halfling.
Okay, hang on. The chief, I kind of want to do either. This might be a little bit cheap, but if the chief's son or daughter, depending on the gender of the character,
Mm-hmm.
who is very artistic and all that stuff, who lives in his home island, the bandit attacked was on the way home,
Okay.
and then that happened. And so his drive is for a big. Maybe he heard something happened on the island,
Oh yeah.
some bad news or anything like that. So his main drive is to get home. Maybe the campaign or their overarching story or the campaign is I need to find a way home.
Yeah.
And maybe the chief's son or daughter who is the artist, maybe it's her tradition to wear a mask. You could
Oh.
have this character like everyone from this it's like the Mandalorian kind of style
Oh
of
yeah.
mentality, except for instead of just warriors not showing their face, it's just you don't show your face unless to loved ones or anything like that kind of culture.
Right.
And that would be their entire drive is needing to get home.
Mm-hmm.
But being raised from the dead, and now this character has to be a pawn for a celestial patron
Right.
to also like do whatever they need basically just so he or she could get home.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's their drive. They need to get home to the one they love.
And that uses all the cards.
That does. There was a thing I had, and now it's gone, and now I'm sad.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, if their drive is to get home because something is happening to their village, that makes that happen, like want to happen way too fast.
Okay.
It's like they need to get home now.
Well, I was just trying to think of something that would make him or her. I'm just gonna say him because I generally
Them.
say, but for them to want to get home.
Yeah.
I don't know what else could happen, or it could be hearing that the chieftain's son or daughter is getting married, and it's now he's trying to stop the marriage from happening because true love and all that stuff.
Yeah. I gotta get home before my true love gets married.
It's like the movie Bubble Boy, if you ever seen that movie,
I have, but it was so long ago.
where he finds out that his like neighbor and like childhood friend that he loves is marrying some jerk, and so he leaves his room for a first time just to stop the marriage because he really loves her, and then he goes on all these wacky adventures and makes a lot of friends and all that stuff. It's a good movie.
Nice.
I should watch that again. But okay, we could have that kind of situation.
Yeah.
His love for the chief's son or daughter, who's an artist that's a masked artist.
Maybe it's a tradition in their village that until someone is married or until, they come of age, they wear a mask.
Okay. It's kind of like a veil kind of thing in other cultures.
Yeah, kind of like a veil.
Okay. Actually, yeah. So then this character, who's obviously single and unmarried, would still be wearing a mask.
Most likely, yes. And that would be an interesting feature of your character if you ever choose to play this or use them as an NPC.
Okay. I think we already got this one done.
Okay.
What I think we've done before to help buffer some time. So this episode's not 20 minutes long.
Right.
I think it'd be great if we come up with what kind of goals that the celestial patron wants for this warlock.
So it's possible the celestial has some sort of enemy in the world that they're driving this person to help defeat. That's why they need a warlock and can't just be like, hey, you, cleric, go do the thing. They need a warlock for this. They're like, you'll do. I'll save you and you're mine now.
I think the celestial will do it because warlocks are soulbound.
Yeah.
Instead of cleric who could drop the deity at any time that they want.
Yeah. So it's probably something that people wouldn't necessarily want to do. Maybe a cleric would have a crisis of conscience if asked to do this thing. So what is this terrible thing?
Okay, this might sound bad, but what if this deity has several churches that, dedicate to this specific deity.
Mm-hmm.
What happens if there's like a corruption in one of the churches or possibly multiple churches?
Mm.
And the warlock's job is to purge the corruption out.
Oh, snap.
And that's not going to be looked on fondly, but if
No.
Soulbound has to do it or
Right.
anything like that, so in the celestial being or the deity couldn't really get anyone else to do that.
Right, yeah. So they're asking this warlock to go through all the different churches and just kind of cull the herd, sort of like get rid of the corrupt people.
I feel like the deity knows exactly the corrupted ones, basically gives him or her a hit list.
Oh, snap.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
the deity would know which ones are the corrupt ones because it happens in its house of worship.
Yeah.
So they would know what goes on in there, but can't do anything because can't physically do anything in the material
Right.
plane. So basically has a hit list.
Either a hit list or magically infuses our warlock's mask so they can see the person's corruption in like an aura around them.
Okay, that just made me think of the what is it called? Eagle Eye from Assassin's Creed. Basically,
Okay.
you could like in the modern the newer Assassin's Creed games, you could basically have a sense where you go into this mode and you could see through walls and it'll be outlines of guards and enemies and all that stuff. So you could actually get around patrols.
Oh, that's so handy.
And so I was just like, maybe it's that.
Yeah, it's totally that. You can see people's outlines and things.
Oh my god, you're basically assassin.
Magical assassin.
A magical assassin who's charismatic.
So then that means this character would most likely be multi-classed into rogue as well.
Well, no, it depends because
It would work better.
it'll probably work better. I agree. But it depends on you could play this out as a character
Mm-hmm.
that's like somewhat like a fresh out of the village. Like I don't know how bad this world is. They don't have to be a professional like dexterity kind of rogue kind of
Right.
person. They could be just some average person. It's like I gotta kill these people.
Like, why do I gotta do this thing?
Yeah, and so then they just have to figure it out.
Yeah. And maybe they'll make the choice to learn a little bit of the roguelike arts because it would definitely help with their mission.
Yeah. Or they use the new like charismatic spells that given to them to make their way in. Because you could always use that charisma to get around things to do it publicly without sneaking.
Right.
It's kind of hard with a mask, but
I mean, yeah. But if people already know about that culture, they'll be like, oh, you're from that island. Okay.
okay. I think we have a overarching story.
Yep.
So I think this character, the Celestial Warlock, to
Do
be
we want
good.
to give them a name?
I don't think we did that in the past, have we?
Yeah, we've named them in the
Oh.
past.
It's been a while.
I usually try to find a pretty androgynous name,
Gender neutral name?
gender neutral if possible, but I cannot guarantee. Okay, well, that one jumped out at me. I don't know if this is a gender neutral name, but Zaki, Zaki,
Zaki. That sounds like an
or
innocent person
Zaki.
name.
Sounds like a what?
Very innocent person name.
Yeah. The last name that went with it on this list is Zaki Hana or Hana.
Okay.
Zaki Hana.
Or you could just have it where this island doesn't have family names because
Maybe.
it's such a small, tight knit community. They know who's related to who, so you don't need family
Right.
names.
Okay.
But I think that was a good character.
I think Zaki is well rounded. On to the next one.
I almost got it in one shot.
Almost.
Almost.
You did pretty good though. Okay, our second character is a human druid. Kind of fun. Origins, an inn. So either they work at an inn, their parents work at an inn. I don't know, an inn. Background, hey, it's that Masked Guardian card again. So their background is a Masked Guardian, or something about their background includes a Masked Guardian. I don't know. Pretty fun. All right, they have a special bond with their father, who is a dragonborn. I'm guessing adopted at this point?
It has to be.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, most likely. If they are human. I mean, the race cards in this don't really account for, like, the father being a dragonborn and fun stuff like that. Their other bond is with an ally who happens to be a tiefling.
You haven't said the father is the
Oh, no,
soldier.
missed that part. Yes, the father is a soldier. So, dragonborn soldier. That's kind of cool. And their ally is a tiefling daughter. So, maybe they adopted a tiefling to keep the adoption in the family? Yeah, I don't know. Mark of the past. Corruption by a timekeeper. That's fun. And impetus, legend, and about a vagabond. So there's a legend about a vagabond that drives them.
Okay. This was a little bit harder.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here.
My stab would be this human druid grew up in an inn. His or her father is the owner of the inn,
Okay.
in which ex-soldier,
Yeah.
in which has a tradition of basically adopting a child, like one or two children from the orphanage to basically as children help, basically. Like a lot of times when they have kids on farms or like at work.
So child labor. Okay.
Yeah, basically child labor.
But adopting them, giving them a home, giving them
hmm
like work ethic, like teaching them.
It's a like single father
Yeah.
raising the druid,
hmm
in which the druid, being grown up and actual adult, basically adopts a tiefling daughter, basically.
I was imagining the tiefling being like left on their doorstep because they're known for taking in children there anyway, and one of the origins of tieflings is that they're often abandoned.
I think it would be not exactly at their doorstep. It's at the orphanage. Maybe
Okay.
it's like nearby, and they're
Yeah.
friends with the owner and all that stuff, or the people who take care of the children.
Yeah.
And they selected this tiefling. I think what motivates this druid to get out is that timekeeper.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm not entirely sure how to incorporate that mask.
Yeah, I know. The masked thing is kind of hard to bring in sometimes.
Okay, hang on. The timekeeper actually gives the druid like a mask, right?
Interesting.
And in which once the mask is put on, it's like a VR headset kind of thing, where it suddenly like projects them, like the spirit of the druid, into the future and seeing like the future of humanity, or seeing the doomsday kind of thing,
Oh.
where it's showing the outcome of see the entire hillside or landscape just burning and all that stuff, like apocalyptic level of things,
Gotcha.
in which then says like you're sort of the chosen one, or knows that if the druid takes or joins the party kind of thing, or has a hand in it, there's a chance of this being averted.
Okay.
Doing the whole Doctor Strange
Yeah.
in Infinity Wars, where he
Yep.
knew that he had to die in order to for that one possibility to them winning to be the outcome.
Right.
In which the timekeeper says that one of the starting points, or one of the catalysts that starts this, is a vagabond, and
Okay.
describes like a vague description of the vagabond.
Yeah.
In which then the druid sees that in order to protect the community that he or she has been a part of, that he or she has known their entire life, has to now set out to find this, to stop this.
So what if the way to save the world, apparently, is to return the daughter, the little tiefling daughter, to their parent, who is a vagabond? Reunite this baby with the parent who didn't have a say in giving their daughter away. Like, the one parent was just like, ew, no, I don't want this child. And the other parent, like, either wasn't there or didn't know that this happened. So I'm guessing, like, father, because if the mother, like, if they separated at some point and then she had a baby and he didn't know, well, you got to reunite this baby with her father, who will then take her in and love her. And then she won't grow up to be a monster that destroys the world.
Oh, you were pulling a... Did you ever see the Umbrella Academy?
I did, yes.
It's season 1 with, spoilers, with Viola.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out that she was the cause of the end of the world when they were trying to figure out what caused the end of the world.
Yep. Big spoilers.
Yeah, that's a very big spoilers. I can't wait for season 4.
I'm so excited for more. I think I need to catch up. I think I didn't miss a season.
Season 3?
I may have. Don't tell me anything.
Okay. But if that's the case, what I'm questioning about for that is in the perspective of, it really depends on the party, but the D&D group of, are you fine with a child NPC being with the party?
So I've actually been. Have I actually, was that in my group? No, I think that was in a different group, where one of the characters actually had a baby that they carried around with them in like a backpack. at all times.
Like I said, it really depends on the group.
Yes.
It depends on the game master or anything
Mhm.
like that. So that's a very iffy one in my opinion.
Yes.
Because some groups could play that out just fine.
Mhm.
Some groups probably can't.
So yeah, it's really dependent on the party, dependent on the players, whether or not this is a good fit for your D&D party.
Or, okay,
Or
slightly different twist. When the druid joins the party,
mhm.
let's say that she gets the vision and all that stuff.
Mhm.
But the vision is, of course, of her daughter, the tiefling daughter, destroying the world.
Yeah.
But the tiefling daughter is under the vagabond. So in order to stop it, she has to steal the daughter away from the vagabond to be a bad influence and give her a better life so that she doesn't destroy the
Oh,
world.
So she's got to find the vagabond to then basically kidnap this baby.
Yes, to get a better, not exactly
give her a
baby. Let's say small age, toddler, or child.
Okay, it could be a baby. To basically give this young girl a better life.
Yes, or a way to control her powers or anything like that.
Yeah.
And if this vagabond, it could be a demon or something like that.
And he could be maybe using her to get ahead in life, using her to maybe run a scheme or something.
Yeah.
And that just leads her to be very cynical and
Seeing the ugliness of the world and all that stuff.
yeah.
So the thing that she has to do to stop it is to give that child a better life. So it could be where she joins the party and then steals it, or she joins the party after stolen the baby and now has a vagabond always after her, ergo the party.
Or it could just be her goal to find that vagabond, like
Yes.
her party goal. And then once, maybe towards the end of the planned, story arc, it could be, oh, by the way, that's the baby you're looking for. And she's like, hooah.
Or she might not even recognize the baby because she would see the child all grown up.
Yeah.
And fully killing everything, but would recognize the vagabond or the parent in that situation. My slightly problem with that is that would be a good just target goal.
Mm-hmm.
But if this would be going off the cards of saying ally, it'll be it's already an ally when he or she joins the party, and then acts like an ally as the side NPC. Maybe didn't even want to be with her mom or her dad.
Yeah.
The vagabond. And so then actually goes along and is trying to get away from the bad parent.
Okay. And then this gives her an out and a loving parent.
Yes. And so then the goal for the druid is to provide a better life and show the happiness of the world and all that stuff. Very positive.
Yeah. As druids tend to do, because they're usually all about life and just nature and stuff.
Well, I thought of some really interesting aspects about druids.
Oh, yeah?
That might go into a campaign that you might run.
Fantastic.
So I won't say anything, even though I'm pretty sure you'll forget.
You can say it. I'm sure our listeners would love to hear.
This is a complete tangent.
Okay.
But I thought of, in a couple of campaigns, or one campaign I've done before, and I would love to do in future campaigns, which is have druids living in different forests or different biomes acts as guardians or mentorships to that specific area, tries to maintain balance and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But you would think, okay, how would they feel about civilization that destroys their environments and that really takes resources and doesn't really have a balance? So I thought of druids being anti-societies, anti-civilizations. And then I took it one step further. What happens if there are druids that believe that they're anti-people because sentient beings constantly disrupt nature and this natural cycle? Animals are one thing because they actually are part of that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
But sentient beings like humans, elves, dwarves, or anything like that, they disrupt that cycle. So they would be anti-them.
So essentially poison ivy.
I think we've had this discussion before.
Yeah, poison ivy being a druid and wanting to kill all other people out there.
Yeah. But then I've, like I said, the less serious one is just anti-society.
Yeah.
You could live amongst the nature as long as you're part of the cycle.
Right.
But once you make a civilization or make a city, then you're disrupting it.
Right.
In order to do that.
No, I can see a druid being like that. I mean, part of the druid class is you can't use anything made of iron.
But that was just to counteract of what you said, like, oh, that it's in their nature to be all this positive things. I'm like, no, I've thought of very negative
True.
character styles.
That is true. Most druids, let's say, end up being that way. That's how a lot of people play them.
Yeah, but that's boring.
I don't know. I had fun playing the little old lady that was just all about being happy.
Yeah, but I have a more evil side to me.
All right, so let's give this druid a name.
Oh yeah, we should come up with a name.
I feel like it needs to be a very like nature.
No, because
Not nature.
he or she was grown up in a orphanage in a civilization.
Mm-hmm. How about Everly?
That sounds nice. Everly.
Mm-hmm.
It has no last name because
Yeah.
orphan and just grew up in an inn. So
Right.
it's just like,
Well, I heard one thing that was kind of fun. Orphans take the name of the orphanage they came from.
or what happens if the Everly takes on the last name is the name of the inn?
Oh yeah.
So
That'd be
what is the
fun.
name of the inn?
I don't have an name generator here. I have a people name generator.
Okay, think of an inn name.
The Salty Spittoon.
It's really funny you say that, even though you don't like SpongeBob.
I know. That's just the first thing that came to mind. And I don't hate the show SpongeBob. I just find SpongeBob himself to be very annoying.
I'm sure a couple of people would agree with you. Let Tiffany know on Twitter at QuestMorePod. All I think of is like tavern names, which taverns could be inns.
Yeah,
It's like
yeah.
a mixture, but the Sleeping Fox or the Leaky Cauldron or like the Tipsy Stool,
Yeah,
generic names like that. But I don't think those will work as last names.
I know.
Actually, hang on. Sweet name because this is actually a like good person.
Right.
The inn's name is the Sleepy Fox.
Okay.
And so it'll be Everly Fox.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
That also sounds like a very druid name.
True. But it actually has a very nice
Do we want to
backstory.
name the daughter?
You know what? This would be a perfect opportunity for the druid Everly to name the daughter once rescued. Because the Vagabond just calls the daughter it.
Oh,
Because they have to be evil and you
And
have to hate them.
They don't see her as a person
Mhm.
because she's a tiefling. And usually, like, the way tieflings come to be is like someone gets either raped or tricked by a devil, and that's how a tiefling is born.
Mm-hmm.
And so a lot of parents will try to get rid of them or treat them like dirt. They usually grow up to be very, very cynical.
Except for Karlak, my babe.
she's a devil.
No,
She's not a tiefling.
She's a tiefling.
What?
In Baldur's Gate 3, she's a tiefling.
I'm pretty sure she's a devil.
No, she's
She's
a tiefling.
Okay.
You need to play more Baldur's Gate 3.
Apparently.
We should do that later.
I thought Shadowheart was your bae.
Until I met Karlak.
Okay.
That's what happened in my solo
poor
playthrough.
Shadowheart.
I like my goth girl, but then when I saw Karlak, I'm like, no, you're the one.
She is pretty awesome, honestly.
My character died of snoo snoo.
Yeah, Karlak would do that.
Anyways, I think that is it for this episode. If you like that, and if you actually played these characters, let us know how it went. Or if you have a job posting for our regular episodes, let us know on Twitter at QuestBoardPod. I think with that, I wish you all a good night.
And happy questing.